Gather round, it's Megapodcast 2000.
Hey there, hi there, welcome to the show, Megapodcast 2K, the hottest pod in Atlanta, Georgia. My name's Seth, I'm sitting here with Dana. How's it going?
Would be nicer if it wasn't raining. But other than that, it's a wonderful day
Y'all
in the
can see
stew.
it through the window.
It's a wonderful day in the stew.
The rain is falling. Wear your Gore-Tex, your umbrellas,
Your Patagonia.
your Patagucci, whatever it is. Welcome. I'm back from Lafayette, Louisiana. Belly full of crawfish.
For real?
Yeah, bro.
I didn't know you were eating. I didn't know.
It's crawfish season. I'm real bad at opening them though, or eating. I'm slow. All my parents, I have like 5 parents. They put me to shame. My parents have sister wives and whatnot. Y'all may not know that about me. Anyway, had a good time. I went and watched old UL Lafayette play baseball. I was behind home plate. Shit was tight that we beat Louisiana Tech. Other than that, nothing crazy. One thing though is on Delta, I was trying to watch a show that we're gonna get into, Beef. I was so into it, I was trying to watch it on the plane. So I paid for the Wi-Fi for the first time ever.
Where'd you fly? First class or coach?
Coach? I don't even think what is it? Economy. It's called economy, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, don't disrespect. Coach is old school.
Yeah, well, economy is kind of, that's a nice seats though, right? That's in the middle?
No, it's the back by the bathroom.
I was trying to make it sound good.
Yeah, it's I don't care.
I know you don't care. I was just, guessing where the seats were at.
I guess the good Wi-Fi is in the front because I paid for Wi-Fi, right? And the Wi-Fi was so bad you couldn't even use Instagram. So
Are you not supposed to be on your phone like that?
No, you can be on airplane mode, but airplane mode you use Wi-Fi. It's like says on the, if you look up, it's like Wi-Fi, So I was like, oh, sick! I can watch Beef. $10, sure, that would be great. Make this flight fly by. Yeah, and then it didn't work.
Yeah, I don't think
I got bamboozled by Delta. I want my money back.
That's why you have Apple and you have movies downloaded on your devices, so you can just watch them.
Yeah, I know. Well, lesson learned. I was desperate. That's how much I like the show.
I have nothing but like 4 swipe movies on my shit. So when I'm on the plane or just driving, I'm not like swindled into paying $10.
I had Don't Look Up as my other option. I was like, I don't want to watch that.
I think I have Jurassic World, Kingsman 1 and 2, Umbach.
Oh.
Reverence.
Okay, that's solid.
I think, and I have some Deadpool.
Okay.
I think those are the only one I can't think off my Apple movie right now that I can think of.
That's an eclectic blend.
It's just like, anywhere from power 3s to regular 3 swipes. They can only make it on your Apple movie type of list. You can't have like 1 swipes and 2 swipes up there. So
I agree.
Especially you got to pay for them too. So you want the good ones.
Yeah. So. Well, I buy movies all the time. I just don't download. I've learned my lesson. Also on the way there, really bad plane etiquette on the way there. The guy next to me was just giving like a speech in his head the whole time. He was just like, and I'm miming, you won't be able to hear this, but he's like.
Right next to you?
Yes. On this tiny plane. And it was giving me anxiety. Cause I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Like I was trying to sleep and there were just like hands moving. He was preparing for some kind of speech. And then we're in the back. Like I said, as soon as we landed, he was the guy who like stands up, I'm like, I fucking hate this guy.
That's why when I went to California 2 years or last year, 2 years, I don't know, last year.
Yeah.
And when I was in the back, it was the worst experience ever.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that bad.
For me personally, you last aboard. I didn't know the boarding trick where you just can ride. Someone told me it was like my homeboy I picked up from the airport. Shout out Matt Goins, who doesn't listen to this pod, but he was like, He's like, yeah, man, when they call board, first, whatever, I just go with that. They don't ever check the.
Yes, they do.
Well, for his experience, he just rolled up in
Yeah.
there. He was like, yeah, I just rolled.
They reject-
even more that it's true because when I boarded to Venice, there was someone already in the back sitting in the seat where I was sitting in. I'm like, if I was to board last, how are you already back here?
They must have. Usually, it's like veterans, old people.
No, he was tattooed up.
Veteran could have been a vet.
He was like my age.
People your age went to war.
Nah, this dude he worked in the tattoo shop skateboarding. He was not a veteran, bro. Let me just get this out
Okay.
here.
All right, you
I knew
asked
he
him?
wasn't. I knew he wasn't.
You should have said thank you for your service.
Nah, hell nah, because I know he wasn't. But the fact of the matter is that he was already in the back part, way ahead, and he wasn't even supposed to be on there that early. So if you're listening to the pod, this is a tip. When they say board, just go ahead and roll up there. They don't really check.
No,
you can
those
just
people
go right in.
Those people make the boarding process a pain in the ass because they get in line and they create a huge line, and then half of them get kicked out, and it's just a waste of time. And then we all leave later.
Uh-huh.
But here's the other thing I just remembered because I was like, what is going on? Like, we're flying into Lafayette, and there's no layovers in Lafayette. Like, that is your destination.
Yeah.
It's not Atlanta Airport. Atlanta Airport, people are rushing
Yeah.
off. So I wasn't like in the back. I was joking. I was like in the middle. I mean, it's economy still. But the people behind were just like not letting me off. They were just you're supposed to wait like row by row.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's the rush? You're in Lafayette. Like, I mean, you're here,
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm like, what is up with this fucking etiquette? I don't know. A bunch of fucking amateurs, bunch of pedestrians.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever.
I was watching the news, and this dude was on the plane. We're talking about planes, and he had to be first class, obviously, because he was watching The Office, and he was watching it right next to Dwight.
Rainn Wilson.
Yeah, and he was like,
yeah.
I'm like, well, he had his mask on, so I'm sure that's kind of hard to tell who he was with his mask on.
I was
And
kinda
first of all, why
wondering
you? I'm like, I would have been like, hey man, I would have pulled it down and been like, that's a good episode, or I would have teased him or something.
I would have waited till the end.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
But the dude was just grubbing. He was just like eating that. It was just like, and I was looking at my wife like, that's first class. See that?
Yeah.
Leg room,
The
TV, widescreen.
Like when
chill.
I'm on a plane though, don't talk to me, my neighbor.
Well, obviously that dude wasn't talking to him.
Yeah,
He was too busy watching The Office and just
Yeah.
eating his food. Obviously, he was not paying attention.
Right. But when I sat down, on coming back, there was the guy next to me. He was like, "Hey," and like gave me like a real like big greeting when he sat down. And I was like,
I mean, I don't mind. If you're gonna be cordial and say hi, that's good. I don't mind with that, but don't carry on a conversation.
Right. But I was like trying to give off. Don't fucking.
This
talk
one
to me.
dude was sitting with like these high school girls that were coming to Atlanta for like a swimming competition, and he was in the
sounds
wrong
sus.
seat, right? And he was just talking to these girls, just like, yeah, I used to swim when I was in
Yeah.
college. I'm like, bro, you were talking to these girls that are like twice your age about swimming.
Yeah.
They're like not interested. And then the one of those other swim girls coming there was like, yeah, I think you're in my seat. He wasn't even in the right seat.
Yeah. Exactly. It fucking a pest, a plague on society.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's do better, America. Let's get into this bitch. A plague on your houses. First up, we have Windfall. This is on Netflix, yeah?
This is on Netflix. Came out in 2022. It's an hour and 32 minutes. It falls right up my alley. A man breaks into a tech billionaire's empty vacation home. But things go sideways when an arrogant Mongol and his wife arrives at the last minute and he tries to get away. So, starring my guy, Jason Segel, coming off the fresh series off HBO Max called Shrinking.
No, it's on Apple.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Whatever. Yeah. I was given a nice spill and you were like, even though I messed it up, now I got to start over. Coming off a fresh, hot series show called Shrinking on Apple TV, he is in this new movie called Windfall. And it has an eclectic cast, Lily Collins. I don't know much about her. She played the wife of the billionaire tech. I'm looking up what film she's been in. Emily in Paris, Love It Rosie.
That's a big one. Emily in Paris is a big one with the basic white women.
The Mortal Instruments. I never watched that movie. Was that good?
It was horrible.
Okay.
Oh, is she the star of that?
She was married to Jesse Plemons, which is the CEO tech of the guy who Jason Segel's house he breaks into. and their like vacation home is on like an orange farm, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Like they have a vacation house on an orange farm. So Jason Segel starts off as just like, just like, you don't even know if he's working for this guy because this guy's like a tech mongol, you know? So Jason's like in his house, just like going through it and just aimlessly walking through. Nothing crazy either. Like, you know, like he's just.
It sounds lovely.
Yeah, it's just like enjoying a rich person's house.
Yeah.
It honestly seems like he's literally wanting to see what it feels like
Yeah.
to be in a rich person's house, how it starts off. So he's just like going through these, finds some money and stuff. He's like, ooh, nice Rolexes, takes a Rolex. And so the couple comes home and he's like, of course, trying to get away. And, you know, they just come into the house and he's like, the wife, Lily's like checking this one room. And as he's trying to open the door, sees him. Of course, he accommodates the two in the house. He ends up finding a certain. No, I'm not going to tell you the whole thing. Not to be big spoiler today,
summary.
But
big spoiler. Love it.
So ends up staying with these two. It turns up worse. It's one of those things like, have you ever seen U-Turn or Wrong Turn? I told you to watch. Yeah. So it's like that. Just one bad thing happens, another starts to pitfall for Jason Segel while he's in this house.
Yeah.
So he locks him up in like a sauna. Of course, it's not on. He's just like, he tries to like block it off. He's like, count to 100 and I'll be gone. Obviously, they get out of the sauna because it's just like chairs and stun of it. But it's just stupid comedy almost, but it's still serious at the same time.
Yeah, dark comedy.
He leaves, goes back to his car, and he sees like there's like this camera wooded into the tree, and he's like, damn it.
Yeah.
So he has to go back. And then, so it goes from there. I'll let you, stop there. So obviously they get out the sauna.
So the camera is what?
It's just he didn't see a camera. Yeah, he like parked on the road.
Yeah.
Like far from the house. And he gets back, he puts him in the sauna. He's like, get out, count to 100. I'll be gone.
So he realizes that he's
on camera and he's fucked.
So he
has to go back.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's funny because he has to chase them again. He gets them, but it's funny how everything escalates.
Yeah.
It's
like a loose
funny,
hostage situation.
witty. It's background story on the wife because the CEO, he's like a tech billionaire. Of course, he doesn't care. He's like, bro, I'll give you what you want.
Yeah. Can you compare this to any other movie?
That's what's so hard because I was trying to do that. And I haven't seen something where someone breaks in someone's house and this happens.
It feels very...
That's why I'm trying to, hopefully you might.
There's a movie, but it does not seem exactly the same, but have you ever seen Funny Games?
Yes.
It kind of gives me Funny Games vibes.
Yeah.
But less.
But he's like, Jason Segel's like this blue collar guy.
Yeah, he's more, it doesn't seem like his intentions are that bad. Maybe.
But things happen.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, look, on that, I'm interested.
Right. Things happen.
I really am on riding the Jason Segel train right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on his jock.
And then, like I say, I'm going to try to get this right. Jesse Plemons plays the CEO, rich.
Yeah.
He thinks everybody is out to get him for $1. He works hard. No one works hard. You know how millionaires think.
Or he's probably a billionaire.
Yeah, I'm sorry, billionaire.
Yeah.
So he's like, giving him shit. He's like, you just want a piece of, I worked hard for this. Jason Segel's perspective is, I just wanted to come see if you were a normal person.
Yeah.
Like
you're a human being.
And I'm like, and he's flabbergasted about how the CEO acts.
Yeah.
He actually has more in common with the CEO wife.
Huh.
And so the wife, the CEO is trying to like get closer to Jason Segel. He seems to like,
he
be fond
might
of
have
you.
some insights into.
Well, because the wife used to work at a non-health, she used to work. Yeah. So she kind of understands that type.
She wasn't born with a silver spoon in her mouth.
But she met him, and then so. Okay. But Jason Segel kind of exposes he's like,
all right.
No, but I'm not giving anything away. I'm just like,
whoa, Nelly,
platforms here.
Okay,
and it makes you seem like he's a psychologist, but he's not. It's like someone coming from the middle class breaking down something to people that are on a higher pedestal.
Yeah,
and being like, this is not how it works.
It's a peasant showing up on the king's doorstep.
Right. And it's just funny how things escalate. It gets...
Okay, well, let's swipe it up.
It's a power 3.
Power 3.
It's a power 3.
Yeah.
It's a power 3 because it takes you on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
And everything you think is going to happen doesn't happen.
Okay.
And Jason Segel, I've never seen him in this role either, where it's kind of serious.
Yeah.
And not saying he can't play serious. I love Forgetting Sarah Marshall's probably my favorite Jason. I know it's probably lame to say that.
No, it's
but he's funny as shit in that movie. I'm talking about hilarious. And ever since I saw that movie, he's all in How I Met Your Mother. I knew he was somewhat of a comedian / like sitcom, can get a good laugh out of you, you know. And he was in the series with Bruce Willis. I can't remember that movie where he was like, no, that was Matthew Perry. I'm sorry, but he has the Matthew Perry vibe, right? Can I get that? Like how they both have that like witty comedy, you know. But this Windfall is like serious.
Okay,
like serious.
I'll check it out. Okay, so there's this movie that I saw with him and Jesse Eisenberg. It's called The End of the Tour, and it's about the guy who wrote Gravity's Rainbow. What's his name? David Foster Wallace. He's like a famous author that wrote like some crazy shit in the 90s. And he plays David Foster Wallace, and it's really good. I recommend that one. So he has a range.
Okay, so the director of this, which his name is Charlie McDowell, he also did On the Line, The King Richard, which I think was like not the one with Will Smith, but he also did the One I Love, which came out in 2014. It seems like he does a lot of like love / like relationship type of movies.
Yeah,
it looks like. But this one isn't a love. It has. You think it has something to do with it, but it's completely opposite. Like I said, it throws you from like loops. It's comparison into like Intrusion. Have you ever seen that?
Mm-mm.
It's pretty good. It's a must watch. Do not skip. Hour 32 minutes. Jason Segel, Jesse Plemons. Jesse Plemons and Jason Segel are like pretty good actors. Like you're not going to go wrong with watching any of these guys.
Oh, definitely.
At all.
Go blow for blow.
And it's on Netflix. Like, I mean,
why not?
It's a 5.7 on IMDb, which is like in the middle. Rotten Tomato has 59%.
Okay.
Which is like in the middle. Like I said, it's not everybody. It's like an abstract. Like you would see this at the Sundance Festival or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
On some type of independent
film.
It's a
drama.
It's like one of those things.
You're watching a drama.
Yeah. But it's also a dark comedy.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Okay.
So.
All right. I'll check it out.
And Lily Collins looks like Lily from AT&T, which is kind of crazy.
Next up, this is a segment we like to call Seth Watches What Dana Watches. I watched Waco, An American Apocalypse, I believe is what
was it called. Worth every bit of the rating? You got to do the.
Did you?
You got to do the reverb. You didn't even do the reverb or like the delay like you usually do. You didn't do your this Dana watch Seth. You know your whole little intro. Okay. You know you do a good job
on
of
this segment of Seth Watches What Dana Watches.
That's better. Yeah.
Starring.
Yeah.
Seth.
That's good.
And Dana.
Yeah. Give yourself a round of applause on that one. That's like coming into the show. Like, yo, hey, welcome to Seth Watches What Dana Watches on a new episode today. It is a bright day here in sunny California. And we're on a new set of Seth Watches What Dana Watches. No, this is a different show. We're segmenting. This is a new one. Our alter ego show.
Okay.
Now get into it.
Let's go. I watched this fantastic documentary, and I think you swiped it pretty high.
I did.
Was it 4 swipes?
I'm gonna say I almost want to say I gave it power swipes.
I'm gonna give it a 4, just to get that out the way. One thing that I've listened to podcasts. Just one last podcast on the left did the Branch Davidian. David Koresh.
I'm not mistaken. You said you watched the HBO on series, or I think you said on Waco or something like that. There was some form of.
There was a televised version of it, or like where they acted it. You know, it was like historical fiction, like a dramatic interpretation, whatever. And I watched that, and I wasn't feeling it. But The one thing to me about this documentary that I think sets it apart from everything else was the layout. I think they like used CGI to like recreate the map of the compound and how like the police moved in and all that stuff. And to me, that gave me more of a better sense of how insane the situation was, because like you can kind of see where they're hiding inside the house, and it just kind of put it in perspective a little more, because it was a huge ass compound.
No, lake.
Yeah, it was like a raid huge. Of like a and there were, I mean, the 50 caliber rifle. You know, I can envision I play video games, but when you actually see it, you know, and you see it coming out of the window and all that stuff,
that was crazy.
It's fucking insane, because that's armor piercing rounds. And then other than that, yeah, it was.
They show you the gun hole, how he got shot. He showed showing you the bullet hole, how David Koresh actually got hit.
Yeah, that was crazy. And that's the other thing is I've heard, I knew he was wounded from podcasts and stuff, but like, yeah, you see him, you see the holes.
It went in and out.
Yeah, and he's so relaxed.
Yeah. And then kids just talking to him, had the kids just that was hard to watch.
Oh, and also the psyops that killed me when they were blasting like animal noises and they played all off that. The hook.
You remember I was saying, you were like, I don't know, it doesn't seem. I was like, bro, they were pretty cruel to these. Like they trampled their cars.
Oh yeah, that was just insane. Like,
it was like, who does?
They're trying to provoke them.
Yeah.
They were trying to.
I was trying to get that out. I was trying to tell you that,
yeah.
like, bro, they fucked this up.
And there was the problem is like, okay, yes, that's crazy, but I get there's some tactics there, you know, but there's children inside, and I think the main thing that's really what it came down to, because it was like 88 people died, and then I forgot how many of them were children. It was a lot of them were children. So it was tragic, and then also like every time I didn't realize it was like M1 Abram tanks, like war machines.
They ran
I thought
right
it was
through
like
the house.
SWAT tanks.
You thought I was playing. They ran right into the house, right?
Yeah. And then when the guy, like one of like the people in charge for the ATF, or it's like the cops are.
They had FBI is doing the negotiation, and then they had the FBI snipers.
Yeah,
and they had two different people the snipers wanted to take him out.
Yeah.
The people were trying to talk to him and get him out of the house.
When they get the tanks in, and it's like one of the heads is like, yeah, we could drive that tank from one end all through the other way. And then the guy's like, why are you even thinking about that? You know, why?
And they did it.
Yeah. Why would you? But it's like, why is that even crossing your mind?
They did that, they ran out of all their cars in the process.
Yeah.
He's like, remember the musician, the big guy? He was like, yo, that's my car.
Yeah.
It's like, they ran over my car.
Yeah, he's like, they ran over my Camaro or whatever. But the other thing too was the poor daughter who got released, and that was really tragic, because you got to hear the phone call. Her last time with ever hearing her dad.
Heard her dad.
And she got to hear her little voice.
And he was faint, like he was about to die.
Yeah.
Because remember, he said he was sitting in the chair with the bullet wound, just like dunzo.
And like, so you get to see this woman like listen to the last words of her dad, which was very heavy. I mean, it was horrible. And the other standout thing was the sniper, and we kind of talked about in pre-pro.
He was on one.
There's a sniper in here. That man's seen some shit.
He was hype.
Yeah.
I mean, his eyeballs were like this. Through everything. It was hype.
That guy has seen some shit.
It was like he was still living that shit.
Yes.
Like, that's how energetic he gave it.
He makes this funny statement, or like this very poignant statement, where the whole place is up in flames, and I'm talking an inferno.
It is too.
And they all describe it as like hell on earth, because there's like bodies everywhere, fire, tear gas, and the whole place is on fire. And he's talking to his other sniper, and then a bullet whizzes past their heads, like right in between them. And so he makes this statement where he's saying like, this person, while the whole place is on fire, it's coming to an end, he still chose in his last seconds on earth to try to get a shot off and take one of us out. And he's like, that's commitment. And he's like, it's almost like he respected the guy trying to kill him.
I think he did.
Yeah. It's like, because he would probably do the same. Like, he would probably just sit there and be like, fuck it, you know? Like, You would think maybe at some point, somebody, you would have a quote unquote come to Jesus moment and be like, you know what? I don't need to take somebody out, But the thing was, they thought David Koresh was Jesus, and they thought, they're basically jihadists.
How he separated all the wives from their husbands.
Yeah.
He pretty much had sex with all of them.
Yes. And that's what happened to the poor little girl is her mom just left. Mm-hmm. She was like, why would you allow that?
Yeah.
So, very good.
Another one is when the sniper guy, another good story, I think better than that is when he said, I see this dude right here in the window smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
I know I can shoot him about a football yard out.
Yeah.
I'm good for about 300.
Yeah.
I take him out right now. I was like, dude, I kind of like that part when he was like hype. Like, he was like, I'll take him out right now.
Yeah.
He was like, I got this dude right in my sight. Because, that 50 cal, they were exposed. Like, that dude could have just started shooting that 50 cal and killed the snipers. Like, there's no protection. They even said it. They were like,
he said it was pointing right
if they start shooting us, we're fucked. So like, that was true. He had every right to be like, let's take these dudes out while the other FBI guys are trying to negotiate. And then David Koresh is like, there's no guy out the window with a 50 cal. What are you talking about? And then that 50 cal comes out the window later.
It
like,
closes. They literally had a compound. It was like a fort, But I highly recommend this. We talked about it last week, but it's a great. It's 3 episodes. I wish it was 2. Honestly,
it's long,
but
it's worth it though.
I mean, yeah.
I'm talking about that footage is real.
I would love, and I think they may have done this, but the Jim Jones one. Somebody else did one, but Jim Jones is like my favorite cult leader. I know that sounds ridiculous, but that one's just so interesting, and I would love to see something, especially if they have survivors, because that shit's crazy. But let's move it on. Sure. Briefly, I just wanted to bring up Sicario because I've been watching all this Taylor Sheridan stuff. I watched it when I was in Lafayette. It's very good, but I will say, having seen all these Taylor Sheridan shows, it almost like took away from it. But it's cool to see. Taylor Sheridan's the guy who does Yellowstone, Mayor of Kingstown, Tulsa King, and all the other 1883, all the spinoffs of Yellowstone. So it's cool because you can kind of see his writing and like there is a pattern to like what he does. And if you ever get a chance, watch Sicario. That's a Forrest White.
That shit, Benicio del Toro
is
my
a guy.
Kill
savage.
That shit.
Yeah.
You got fine Minaj and shit.
Big spoiler.
Man, that shit is hell no. That shit
big
been
spoiler.
out for so fucking long. Hell no. You should be ashamed of yourself. You ain't seen that movie.
But still,
and
that doesn't happen in Sicario, by the way. That's in the sequel.
Man, y'all late, bro.
Well, next up we have Wellmania.
Yeah. Wellmania, another Netflix 2023 drop. You know what I'm saying? It's got 92% on Google. It has a 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb.
Okay, it's a hitter.
It has an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Tell
and it
him,
has a
let him
4
know.
out of 5 on Common Sense. Your boy knows how to pick them. Okay?
Let's
Stop
go.
playing with me. Put some respect on my name. Okay, Wellmania.
What the hell?
Hey, I like it. I'm with it. Starring Celeste Barber. And this is this Liv. What's her name in the show is Liv Barber. Or her name is Celeste Barber, but her name in the show is Liv. A human tornado is forced to rethink her life as a fast dive young philosophy after a major health scare. So she's like a food writer, but she doesn't take care of herself. She lives in New York. And she goes back home to go see her family, which she lives in, I want to say, Australia. And it's weird because she has a best friend that's Asian and she's Australian, but she speaks like Asian, but has an Australian accent. It's always weird to see cultural people in other areas, but then,
Well, they are right by Asia.
Yeah. But it was just kind of weird. It's like, man, she's speaking Asian, but then when she speaks regular English, Australia, she sounds like an Australian.
When I was in Mexico City once, I met this Mexican guy and he had a British accent when he spoke English. And I was like, what the fuck?
Right. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just weird. It's just, so she goes back home and she's like partying, loving New York life. And she got this deal where she could be a guest or be a judge on a food show as a writer, but all the judges are writers. And she's like a good writer. So she's like, oh yeah, I'm hype. She's like, I get to come back to this deal. I'm going to go see my girlfriend for her wedding and I'm going to fly back for this show. And we're going to, all in plan. So she goes back to Australia. She sees like her family, and this show's once again called Wellmania. So she goes back home. She's like I said, she likes to party. She likes to just do her thing, you know what I mean? And she tries to go back to New York, but she ends up having like passes out at the airport. Like,
yeah,
she's unhealthy. And I don't know if this is a thing in Australia, but she can't go back home until her health is right. I don't know if that's like an Australia thing. You can't fly so she has to get her health back.
Vitals.
She has to because her blood pressure is like extremely low or bad. So they're like, you can't go back. I guess Australia won't let you fly back with certain health restrictions or something like that.
Well,
so
probably because it's going to be like a 13-hour flight, you know.
So they ground her.
Changes.
Yeah, so she can't leave. She has to like get her health right. And so the whole time she needs to get back to the United States because she's about to be a judge. She's blowing up because she's a food writer, critic and stuff like that. But she's dealing with issues back home, like a relationship with her mom, her brother, her best friend. So it's almost like she's fixing herself at home. She's losing weight, but she doesn't know it. She's changing herself for the better to be a better person.
Yeah.
Because like she's coming from New York, living that wild, crazy life. She left home because it's not New York, right?
Yeah.
She left Australia to go chase the bigger dreams of New York.
Yeah.
But she's also like selfish. She doesn't think about her brother. Like she doesn't talk to her mom that much. Her best friend, she came to her wedding. She kind of like got drunk. Just like, you know, that friend that's just like you love her, but is the party, but she can kind of do some kind of crazy things. You're like kind of embarrassed. But she realizes.
I think I'm that friend.
I don't know.
I have been.
But she realizes her ways. So she's like, it's like she's trying to do better.
Yeah.
But in the process of doing better, she's getting her health better. But she can't go back so she keeps getting checked. She's like, not yet. She keeps like doing her brother's like a workout. So she's like trying to help her brother repair the relationship with her brother. And so it's good.
Sounds fun. Who's in it?
No one, no one. No? It's like I said, Celeste Barber. She's not no one, like the whole cast, I think is a full cast that no one really knows. I think Netflix did a good job of collecting this cast. Like I'm literally going to turn my computer around and you can literally touch everybody. You don't know any of them. There's not one. Like I don't know any of them, but the whole cast is litty.
Alexander Hodge, that guy looks familiar.
I haven't seen anybody in anything been like, oh yeah, I know this guy. Maybe the Asian girl, but that was the only one. But I didn't look her up enough to be like, look what she's in.
No.
But everybody else is like literally, I think, all casted by Netflix.
And it's shot in Australia?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Australia because they both had the Australia. It's either New Zealand or Australia. Because they never, I want to say Australia.
Yeah, you weren't lying. I don't know anybody.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But they're all perfect for the fit.
Yeah.
To have that high of rating all across the board, obviously the cast works to get well together. And it's another one of these episodes. I have like 2 left. It's like 23 minutes, 26 minutes per episode.
Beautiful.
So your boys.
No, it looks cool. I see the little thumbnail. I like the presentation. I definitely, now that I'm through with what we're going to talk about next, it looks like something I'm going to line up.
She's like, I want to like trying to explain her personality. Like I said, she came from New York. And like this one part of the episode, she's like in a club in Australia and she's doing drugs and she's like, how much for a bag or whatever. And I guess whatever it was in New York, she was like in Australia, it was like way more, but this lady's rich. So it was like when she was hitting it, she was like, oh my gosh. Like, so she just gets fucked up and does some crazy shit at her friend's, is going to win an award. And she invited her friend instead of her husband.
It becomes a shit show.
And then, so it's like that type of thing. But she starts to realize her ways and she's like, damn, I'm not a good person.
Yeah.
So while she's fixing her health, she's trying to like mend these relationships.
Yeah.
So she can get back.
It sounds great.
Like, it's just pretty good.
And
I'm going to give it, I haven't finished it, so I can't officially swipe it. I have 2 episodes left.
But it's a must watch.
It's definitely a must watch.
All right. I think I'm in on that one too.
Yeah.
Wellmania. Sure. Next up, we have a big one. I think this is a big one.
Yeah.
Beef. We talking beef.
We're talking beef. What's beef?
Got beef?
Beef is when you got Biggie Smalls.
What's beef? I don't know. I mean, I've heard it, but I can't. I got nothing for you, buddy.
It's okay. I was hoping you would finish me.
I know.
Like,
I'm sorry.
It's sorry, bro.
Sorry, man.
Okay,
I failed you.
Sorry.
As a pod partner.
Yeah, well, but Ali Wong. I did a review on her stand-up.
Yeah.
And that's when I first saw this amazing actress and comedian.
Well, has she acted in anything?
It always be my maybe.
Oh, she is in that. No, that's a big one though.
Tuca and Bertie. I don't even know what that is. She's a stand-up. All of her TV shows and stand-up. It seems like Big Mouth.
I'm not gonna lie. She definitely looks like she's on, and I know this is body
Birds
shaming.
of Prey.
I know this is body shaming. Oh, really? So she's been doing her thing, but she looks like she's on Ozempic. You know how see how skinny she is?
She was super skinny. But you know what? I think she's hot still. She's a panty dropper.
Oh.
In the whole episodes, I thought she was, especially when she cut her hair. Woo! I like that cut. Yeah. I like the cut.
Me too.
I like the cut.
No, I loved looking at her the whole time.
Yes.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
And she kept looking up. They do the shot where she's looking up. With her big glasses.
Mm-hmm.
No,
her glasses were fire too.
Yeah.
Like the style that she was she had like that monotone Kanye looking color where it was just always beige or never like bright.
Yeah. Which was kind of her being. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we got to watch for spoilers because this one's hot. This one's hot in the streets.
Hot.
And we want everybody to watch this one. I think we both agree that it was fucking good.
And we finished it pretty quick.
Yeah.
100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I mean, it's I gotta say, I can't think of a new show, Last of Us included, that grew, so there's this big thing I think that I often say on the podcast, and it's usually the second to last episode and the finale usually let us down. There
was no letdowns in these.
No, this
Not
was
a single one.
Kept
going up.
Yeah. Every episode ramped up. I
don't even know if it's going to be another. And if I'd be fine if it doesn't because of the way it happened.
Yeah.
I'd be telling you, that's how good it was. Yeah. Usually I'd be like, I want another.
So I did my little bit of research.
I don't want to know.
There will most likely be a sequel.
I was almost being content that the way it ended, it was so perfect.
I know.
That I wouldn't want another one.
But I do agree. Let's just give an adjective.
Can we give a round of applause to Steven, our guy from Walking Dead? Let's go.
You know what's crazy is I see some of myself in him, and I also know people like him. I know some people just like him, and it's man, he's good. He is so transformative. He can just play. I mean, and he was not likable at all. I mean,
not in the very beginning.
Oh, yeah, right. But just mistake after mistake he had so many opportunities to fix his life.
I think you can see a lot of his character in a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's why this show is so good. Because everybody goes to her stint.
Well, same as Ali Wong
as
well.
Where you're like,
or Amy.
Damn, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Right? Every time you turn around. Yeah. Shit. You can't catch your break.
There's always something.
Yeah, there's just always something.
Seatbelt.
Yeah. It's just, and that happens to
me too. And I'm like, ah.
You know what I'm saying? So it just touches on a lot of perspectives and a lot from having money to not having money, to being middle class, to being low class, to being high class. It's just
well, and that's what was cool about it was the balance of it. It was almost like a Neo and Mr. Smith type situation where it's they're the same, but on different economic
it almost
scales. One's poor, one's super wealthy, but they're both the same amount of unhappy.
But both don't realize they work hard.
Yeah.
But I think this show, like you said, I'm going to ride with you on that. I don't think I've ever seen a show where right now we were talking pre-pro, a lot of these shows are culturally based, like Mo, Ronnie.
Yes.
And Mo put me on where it was damn, I'm learning all this about, Palestinians. I'm like, this is great. I love how cultural shows are giving me this, right? And now this one comes up and it's about Koreans, and it makes you appreciate that stuff. It's man, these shows make you appreciate these
funny
cultures.
References about the riots and all that in LA.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just, and then you get to see the parts of California. I was doing that documentary on the bling heist or whatever, right? And I was talking about Calabasas and parts of California, and all these places where you need to do this and make this type of money and
OC,
right? And you get to see all these places, and and the range of like distaste for Korean and Japanese. You get to see that. You're like, whoa, I didn't know that was a thing. You know, like I was like, oh wow, you know, or I have a few friends that's Taiwanese. You know, it's Taiwan and China, you know, Chinese. You know, like that mix of culture where it's in Korean and you know how it's all in there.
There's beef,
and I like the fact that I've seen Ali Wong stand up, and I didn't know she was this good of an actress. You know, like
incredible.
Her deliverance is like you know how you're like, I don't like shows that make me feel awkward. This show kind of puts you in awkward feelings when you're watching it.
Very uncomfortable.
But you still watch it because you're like, I need to see what happens.
Yeah, there's certain scenes where I'm like, please don't. I can't.
And I was watching this thinking about you. I was like, Seth doesn't like watching uncomfortable things. And some of these things are like super uncomfortable.
Especially, I think, what Danny does, Stephen Yeun's character.
I think all the things they do are uncomfortable. Yeah, like both of them.
But he's like a super troll. You know, he's like a in your face troll.
Like,
he's gonna put on a character and get in people's lives and fucking ruin them.
And then his brother Paul, they bring in that new age perspective of millennials. Like this, you know, like this is what this is, and it gave you and it was like his brother was our age, like. You know, 2000, 2001.
Yeah.
Still technology, but Paul, his brother, can tell grew up.
Well, I think Paul is Gen Z.
Gen Z, but you know, he knew he was lit with the lingo.
Yeah.
Where his brother was kind of behind.
Yeah.
Not in it on DMs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, go with crypto, and it was just his brother was out of touch with like where things were going now, like. So I like that aspect because I felt like that was kind of like, we're in both. We're in between that Gen Z and that millennial. We're still hooked to our phones.
Yeah.
I would have been looking at him, his brother, like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you know, I would have been me too on the phone. Like, you know, how he's on the DM and stuff. His brother wasn't even, you know what I mean? Like simple things like that. He wasn't even doing, you know, like they're that drastically apart from each
100%.
other, you know? And I thought that was cool.
Oh yeah.
You know? And the relationships between the cousin, the brother, the two brothers. I thought that was cool, too.
So shout out to David Cho. David Cho is an artist. I'm a big fan of his. He's a weirdo. He's just a weirdo. He had a show on Hulu or on FX called The Cho Show. And he's an amazing watercolorist. Anytime you saw those pictures at the beginning of the episodes with the Godzilla music, that's David Cho.
I love all the artwork right before each
He's
scene
done covers for DC, like Superman.
He reminds me of a skinnier version of Steve Aoki, the DJ.
He's like Steve Aoki's a skinny version of him. You're saying.
Yeah, you know what I meant. Yeah.
Because David Cho a little thicker.
Yeah, but you know, if he slimmed down, that would be.
Yeah. But if you ever get a chance. David Cho on YouTube. It's early Vice. This is like early Vice. He hitchhiked across America. He hitchhiked from one side of America to the other, and then another time he did it from the top to bottom with no money. And he like begs on the side of the street. Like he hops on trains, and he does it with his cousin, and it's fascinating. That's what got me into him. He also did a deal with Facebook a long time ago, like during kind of the first tech boom, where he did a mural, and they were going to either give him $20,000 or $20,000 worth of Facebook stock, and he took the stock and held on to it. And so this is like in 2005, so he's super fucking rich off of that deal. But he's like, you know, a Banksy type guy. He's a street artist, but I love that he's like, I thought he did great in his role.
Money aside, the dude can act his ass off. He played an eccentric character who had manic bipolar tendencies. He'd literally be cool 1 second and then go completely. Remember that character from Ambulance? I was telling you how
just
Jake Gyllenhaal did?
Yeah. Just like that.
Same thing. Can be like in the middle of a robbery. Yeah, you know, I was just looking, you know, and then crazy. That's how David Cho was in this. Can go from being like, yeah, man, we bros, you know what I'm saying? We chilling. Bro, what's wrong with you? Like there were scenes where I was like, damn, if that was my relative or like, you know, and if family, how big part was family in this?
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
Like sacrifices.
One thing,
family was a big part of the series.
I just think the whole thing was just really well written. But one scene happens where, and then the brother's name is, by the way,
Paul.
His name's Paul, but Young Mazina.
Oh, okay.
That's his like real name. But Paul and Danny are very pissed at each other. They don't want to talk, but they're still in the apartment. And then all of a sudden, Danny just goes and shoots a shot in the trash can. And then the brother, of course, makes the shot, and they're in separate rooms, but they're shooting in a trash can in the living room. And then all of a sudden, they just start shooting around. Then they started a dunk contest. And I'm like, that's brothers. It's just like 1 second you can hate each other or whatever. Or that's men, I think. How men, I think, handle things is we don't, but we recover, but we kind of don't, So it's like they butt heads. And then all of a sudden, like, we finally are just like, I can't take this anymore. Like, let's just be friends again. Let's not talk about what happened.
Then it's like, man, there's so much to break down. Then the cultural difference, like, I find it's funny. I know you're actually half Mexican and a half white, but it's just like, black people might say the man, right? And what did he say? The whole movie, man, he was like white women.
White women.
He's just like, now he stuck that in. And I didn't know that was a big thing in Asia. Like Jewish people want to marry Jewish in their own girl, right? Find a Jewish girl, Jewish boy.
Yeah.
Koreans are this. I didn't know Koreans were. And same thing in Mo. Remember, he wanted her to marry
like
a Palestinian,
Muslims.
Like it was like, but still, it was another thing to point out in the series. Like,
but the irony
he wasn't even.
Yeah, that's the irony of it.
You see, man, I told you, man, that's that white thing. And I told him, I told him, white girls, man, it's just like he wasn't.
Yeah, he was completely wrong.
He was completely wrong. So he could have been culturally wrong, though. You know what I'm saying? It was just so funny. That was a point. Yeah,
it's like it's bullshit.
But the longest thing, I think there's more to that because you think about Hollywood and Asians, they were stigmatized horribly.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think that was a thing for him to be like, that's white culture, man. Don't, we're in California or, in the land of where, don't listen to that the way they think. They got you out here doing this and doing that. And it was just funny because he was like, it wasn't even that. It was like.
No, exactly. People watch this show. I know you probably already have. If you listen to this pod, you're probably already going to watch a show like this. But this is like some of the best writing I've seen. I mean, I think Succession, I'm going to talk about it in a little bit. That's top tier writing. But this is so fresh. Yeah. This is original. It's just, it kind of reminds me of Breaking Bad in a way. The way like things kind of escalate, but they keep it somehow still grounded in reality.
The Kevin Hart series where we were every time he made a decision, it just got worse and worse.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this is.
But that
like.
was not nearly as good of
Oh, no, it wasn't. But it was on the same concept. Every time he did something, instead of coming out, which essentially was what they were doing, they kept pushing it back. That's what I loved about it. It was like, it got cool. It was like, all right, we're good.
Okay, another thing. What about, let's try to be more vague about it for spoiler reasons, but what about the supernatural stuff?
Oh,
the visions of what she would see. Like that shit was spooky.
That's true. That was spooky. Yeah, that was.
Fuck. And then also in Korean culture, or at least from the movie The Wailing, crows. Crows.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was a big thing. Yeah.
And crows are kind of like there's like crow demons and shit like that. And I don't know exactly how to interpret the crows that were like following. And there's a subreddit called Crow Bros. That's when you feed a crow and then it starts to be your friend. And he feeds a crow when he was a kid. You remember? And that's why you see crows all the time. So the supernatural elements involved in it. Yeah. But it worked and it felt real. Right. It was struggle.
How both of them struggled. Family wise. When they take flashbacks at them, you're like, damn, this is horrible.
Yeah. Or when the brother's like, I'm broke. He's like, I can't do shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like stuck in you robbing.
Oh my gosh. It's just on so many levels, it was just hitting. Every time I thought I could just stop it and like, let me take a break, I just kept going to the next. I literally watched it in one day.
Damn.
All of it.
I watched it was probably took me like 3 days.
Because they ranged. It was like 40, 30. Yeah. It wasn't, they weren't long. None of them were over an hour.
Honorable mention, Fumi. Her name's Patty Yasuke, I believe. Yasutake. That's what it is. Patty, forgive me. Fumi, she is the mother-in-law. Man, she said some deep ass shit, and she nailed it.
Yeah,
with
she
like
did.
you know, every life is all about like basically perception, how you see it. Like nothing's objective. So like the truth is what you want it to be.
What you make it to
Yeah.
see.
She's like, I still just spend money.
Money. She was like,
She was
I don't
I don't
give
have
a fuck.
it. Yeah, I just spend it.
My thing is, I couldn't tell if she was in the house that same time when that thing happened.
Yeah.
Because they made it seem like she was, but they never alluded to it.
Yeah.
At all.
I think she was.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But they never showed like, oh, she was here when this happened.
Yeah.
They were just like, she's in the house. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
She knows.
yeah.
But she was great. And then she said another line about the husband being an anchor for her. And that when without a ship, he's just sitting alone at the bottom of the ocean.
Right.
And I was like, oof.
I like the husband too. I actually thought he was
The husband
funny
was
too.
fantastic.
I know.
Apparently he's in Picard. I just looked it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't watched Picard
No,
yet.
he nailed it. Even the daughter was a good actress.
I liked his fits.
Oh, his fits were
I know.
next
No,
level.
yeah, these
The
fits are
brother
fun.
too.
The brother was
fine.
yeah,
The
he was champ.
champion or
Yeah.
whatever. But no, his fits were
Yeah.
like he always had like droopy, like
Jack
Japanese
joggers with nice flops on. Them shits were fire, bro.
He was killer, and I loved that. One thing that to me is always cool is his dad like invented the I forgot the name of the chair.
Yeah.
But it's like this modern chair with the butt cheeks, you know, and but it looked dope. You know what I mean? Like it looked like a real modern piece, and I love when they create things like that.
We're describing this, people are like, how can this be good for so much bad shit to happen? But it's really good. That's what's so crazy.
It
like,
is bad.
It's bad.
I mean, it's all
but it's
bad.
so good.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is. Like,
no, it's
shout out to Maria Bello. She was in 13 Precincts. She's been in some other movies.
Cowboy
She's like
Ugly.
the only, I think, American. And well, I think Maya Serrano, she played Mia.
Well, and then what's his name? Santino.
They're the mainly only Americans in this, but I feel like
No, they're all American. You're talking about white folks.
White folks. I think Maria Bello did a good job as the boss
She was
type
perfect.
of chick. She was just like,
She was
man, if this is how rich people are. She was like, why do you think I wear sweatpants? You know, just like you're always telling me that rich people never act like they have money. They always dress down. They look bummy as shit.
Well,
and then she says that same line.
Yeah.
She's just like,
well, it's because it's like one of these things I think where they're like, I'm not gonna dress for you, you know, like who the fuck are you? You know, who the fuck is this restaurant? I'm gonna come in all stinky like from my tennis match and get gourmet food because I'm rich and I can.
or she was like, why didn't you go down there and hang out with the rest of the people? She's like, they don't want to see me down there getting all, you know, like wasted and just they don't want to see me. That's why I stay up here. And you're like, I bet you that's how they really do. That's what they do.
She puts on like a fake show for them.
And she was balling like that. She was balling like that. She was like, yeah, nah, I'm good.
It's just a bad move.
The fact that they could just stay in a freaking upstairs and not even do anything, like you're that rich that you're you know, like you're not even going downstairs to do nothing. Like most people go out when they vacation, they want to see things. I don't know if even rich people like they can just stay in the nice villas. They don't even have to leave their like, you know.
I think the reason why the show was so good is most of the characters were fleshed out and like had like, you know, they're all realistic because they had reasons to be that way. You know, everybody had a background, you know, except for probably the thug friends.
Oh yeah,
they were probably the least fleshed out.
Yeah, they were. I didn't really.
But
they could have done without them, and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But it didn't hurt them.
They needed them for like to throw
for David
chaos.
to have like
Power.
to make that thing. Yeah.
But everybody was just real fleshed out and interesting, and it would. I mean, all around great writing, and no spoilers, but one of the best season finales I've ever seen.
But how does
I mean, it was
Steven go from Walking Dead? I haven't really seen him do anything besides that. I don't know if you've seen him in things.
Minari.
I haven't
reviewed it
I
on the
haven't.
podcast. Minari is,
and Nope, and you said that. I mean,
Love
but
Jupiter.
I haven't. I'm gonna watch Nope. It's on Amazon Prime, but I'm just gonna go from Walking Dead to this because this is all I can put together. And
he's done
he's
some
like
other stuff too, though.
I'm just comparing acting to those two. They're two predominant. Walking Dead's a predominant. He's known for that. But I think he did better acting in this than he did in Walking Dead.
Well, yeah, because Walking Dead's writing was stupid. But I'm telling you, go.
I know it's stupid, but at the time, man, like this dude got known off of it, so it's not like he's not. You know, people are not going to put two and two together. Like, yo, he was in Walking Dead,
right?
But if you had to put the lines together and like,
but I mean, they're similar shows in a way. You know, I mean, they're both dramatic, one's a dramatic horror,
but he's more versatile
comedy.
and way more versatile than Beef. I mean, I mean, versatile. Like,
yeah. In Walking Dead, he's everybody's favorite character.
Yeah, but he plays one type of character.
Yeah.
Or in this one, we see him.
Oh yeah, he played
the guy that was the lovable, can get through anything, and everybody, in that show, like he was that guy. Like you're like, but in this one, each episode he's a different person.
Yeah, but if you watch Minari, he's the father of like a Korean family that moves into the U.S. and like trying to get money.
Same thing with that's crazy.
Yeah, that movie's amazing, and the grandma lives with them. That movie's really good. Or as I said, Minari, wonderful. Watch that movie. And then in Nope, he is another, like, he's like a charismatic, almost like a bad guy. Like a charismatic, not exactly a villain, but kind of, But they're all very different, like everything he's done. He's so versatile. That's
what I'm saying, yeah.
And there's shit that I'm not even remembering that he's in that is fantastic. I mean, he's that guy, if you ask me. Like, Steven Yeun is that motherfucker.
He definitely aged well too, because he still looks the same.
Great.
Yeah. He still looks the same.
It was funny. The flashback was kind of funny though when he had the hair.
Yeah, because it reminded me of Walking Dead, because that's the hair he had in Walking Dead. So it was kind of like, but he did a good job of making him look young in that scene too, because it was like
fucking sing.
Yeah, and he's kind of ripped.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I didn't realize he was that kind of, and I was like, damn, what?
No, the brother was jacked.
His brother was jacked too, but I didn't know he was that, because you're like, you see him on Walking Dead, he's not ripped at all. It's like farthest from rip on I don't know if he looks different on Nope or any other shows.
He's 40 now, or something like that. Yeah, I feel like when you're in your 40s and you're an actor, you gotta get jacked.
Yeah, he was jacked.
You just have to.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was preparing for action.
You can't just have a normal body.
Yeah, because he was definitely put on some weight for the film, because he's definitely filled out. You know what I'm saying? No, his brother was definitely way more ripped than him. His brother definitely was working out.
Oh, yeah, like a motherfucker. I'm trying to see what else he was in. Oh, he is Invincible, that show on Amazon Prime, the animated superhero. He is the main character's voice in that as well. Because I remember that and Minari came out. And then there's, hold on, Lee Sunny Jin. He is I'm the showrunner. Hold on, let me see where he is. Beef creator.
Oh, the Beef creator.
He created Beef.
Oh, okay.
Lee Sung Jin. This guy was a writer for Dave, Silicon Valley, Two Broke Girls. This is his first ever directing.
He did Mothman.
Directorial debut. And he killed it.
Did you watch that?
What's that?
Mothman?
No.
I guess he had something to do with that.
I mean...
It came out in 2010.
Oh, no. I mean, I've seen the Mothman prophecies from back in the day. But let's swipe this boy up. I think we've exhausted.
I'm going 4 swipes.
Me too.
That's how good this shit was.
100% 4 swipe. I mean, just watch it all the way through. Seriously. It just goes down a very dark path, and it's kind of epic. It expands a long time.
I think the craziest scene is I think it's 8 for me when they're in Vegas. I think that whole thing to me was...
That might have been 7.
Or not 7. I think it was 8. It's 9. Number 9. Because that's when shit hits the fan.
Yeah. Number 9 is...
Number 9, because people start happening for real. Like, and then you're like, this just escalated.
Yeah.
Like...
No.
You're like, oh, no.
Yeah, 8 is...
Someone just... because no one...
well, it's like 8, 9, 10 are kind of like one sequence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But no spoilers. But yeah, Beef. Check that shit out. We need more shit like this.
Panty droppers all around.
Shoo! Yeah, Naomi, whatever.
I had all of them. Just had a bunch of them in there.
Okay, next up, another great show, great writing, Succession. I just wanted a quick update on that. It had one of the best episodes I've ever seen, and I just wanted to say that out loud. I believe it's episode 3 I remember kind of wanting more from this season. I didn't really like the start. Second episode was good. But third episode, I'm like, holy shit. Get the Emmys ready. Also, Beef, I think, is going to do its thing at the Emmys as well. It's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough year. And it might be one of those things where Beef, because there would be multiple seasons, might win some the next season as like a kind of a, because this is Succession's last season, and Better Call Saul is probably going to be in those Emmys as well. I don't know, but check it out. It is the third episode of this fourth season is incredible. One of my favorite episodes I've ever seen from the show. Just want to say that. Get that out the way. And we're going to wrap it up. Just kind of an update on Mando.
Why Mando?
This show has gone off the rails.
I know.
It used to have a more serious tone to it. It was, something I used to look forward to, and it's shit, if you ask me. It is just bad acting. I watched an episode with my mom, and she goes, at the end of it, I didn't even know she was watching. She was like on her computer, and she was like, "What was that?" And I was like, "Oh, it's like a Star Wars show." And she was like, "Ugh." She was like, "The acting was kind of, goofy." I was like, "Yeah, it was bad." And it's like, if my mom says the acting's bad, it's horrible.
Man.
Because she watches Lifetime movies.
Oh, God, those are horrible. Jeez.
Yeah. So that just kind of, I was like, Damn, I was like embarrassed.
Yeah.
I was like, it used to be good.
It did. I'm on episode 4 or 5. I can't remember. And I'm not impressed as I was off the last season. Sucks
episode
to say
5 is... Okay, so Lizzo, my girl, is in the episode.
Oh, yeah, your
she's
fave.
She's just ruining everything.
Your fave.
And it's like, I'm trying to like Lizzo, but then she comes into this, and like, she can't act. Is
it obvious?
Yeah, it sounds... Now, Jack Black's in it.
He's an actor.
And he does a pretty good job, but to me...
Is he out of his element?
No, because it's just the fact that I think Star Wars, you need to find... It's supposed to feel original and like its own world. I don't want to see like actors from other franchises, other shows. I want new people, and I want to think of them as those characters,
right?
And they just keep bringing in these people in Hollywood. And I wanted to use this opportunity to say that Star Wars, and they have.
I know what you would say. I was like, sellout buddy. I was saying. I was like, is this sellout buddy card? What the fuck?
No.
I'll be thinking.
The show. Man, that's the first show that's ever got one of these. Wow. That's history on the pod.
Mandalorian is sold out.
Damn.
Or it's like Dave Filoni. They just want to be cool and have these people on, and it's whack. You're just killing it. Like, you're just taking me out of the universe. I don't even want to be in the Star Wars universe. I'm looking for another universe.
So I guess Moon Knight's going to have to save us.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Guardians of the Galaxy comes out.
It does look good, but that even looks kind of PG-13.
Did you see
almost.
The new trailer?
Yeah, that doesn't look.
Trailer doesn't
at first, it gave me the couple of trailers. Like, okay, but then they released the other one. I'm like, this one looks like this is
when they're like in the suburbs.
Yeah, this looks like PG-13. This don't look like the last ones. You know what I'm saying?
It.
Like,
no, I didn't. I'm not. That killed it.
Yeah.
Side note, I think I'm going to go see Mario tonight.
That looks good. I heard good reviews. A girl at my job went to go see it. They dressed up in cosplay and everything when it first came out. She said it was everything and then some. So
that's
she said it gives background stories on why King Koopa wants Princess. It tells you everything about the mushrooms, how the story on that. She said it's pretty good. Shout out to Des, not a listener of the show, but I'll tell her about it.
Yeah, Des, come on. At least subscribe. Like and subscribe.
I'll tell her about it.
It's looking to be the biggest movie of the year with its opening. I think it's already at 350 mil.
Yeah.
It's looking to be the Top Gun.
I mean, I'm an OG Mario. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I think everybody kind of is.
Yeah, I guess you kind of have to.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a big
if you came
part
up
of
video
our
game
lives.
and you are a Mario guy, regardless.
Even if you're a Sony guy, you or an Xbox guy, you got to respect.
You got to respect it.
You know?
Yeah. Mario 64 was my apex for me. I mean, I love that game.
And for me, it was probably like Zelda. Not Ocarina of Time, but I forgot. It's whatever the one is on Nintendo.
Right. That's 64 is the one. Mario 64 is the one that when they actually first went all around screen, like it wasn't just a straight shot.
Right. Oh yeah.
That was that's what I'm saying. The 64 Mario. That's why I said it because that's the iconic one. Yeah.
Yeah. And spooky. Yeah. No, it's the shit.
Yeah.
But I'm going to see that shit. Biggest movie of the year.
I think one of the guys from Almost Sunny in Philadelphia is playing the voice. It sounds like someone familiar.
Yeah, he's playing Luigi.
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
Me too.
But he's Luigi, and then your boy is Mario.
Yeah, I heard the voice.
And then apparently Jack Black kills it as Bowser.
Okay.
So.
I mean, Jack Black does good when he's like voiceovers, though.
He must have so much fucking money. It's
he's
disgusting.
He's got tenure in this game, bro. Like
For real.
He's been going hard for.
I need him to take care of himself. He don't look good.
Yeah,
he looks like red.
It's weird because I think they're playing Bam. They're on like a new his band, Tenacious D. I think they're on a few of these like Lollapalooza things that they got going on. And shit. Yeah, they're touring right now.
It's fun for him.
Yeah.
They're silly. All right, let's go out.
And that's the show. See you next time.